But a chance of a world title came much sooner than planned when world champion Lupe Pinto from Mexico offered Johnny a shot at the world title. The date was the 19th of September 1980. The venue, the Olympic Auditorium in Los Angeles. It was the chance that Johnny had dreamed of, and he now started to train for the fight of his life.
Look at me.
Lupe Pinto now runs a boxing school in Mexico City. Back in 1980, many commentators dismissed Johnny Owen's challenge. Crucially, Pinto did not.
Bueno, que nada más Johnny en ese tiempo que él peleó conmigo era campeón de Europa, era un gran boxeador. La verdad, como digo, es uno de los mejores rivales que tuve yo en toda mi carrera.
Pinto would have home advantage. The Olympic Auditorium was in a rough part of Los Angeles and was a center for Hispanic boxing. A loyal band of Welsh fans made the journey for Johnny. Los Angeles was exciting, and Johnny was on the world stage, but he remained focused.
Pre-fight out there, we were meeting in the mornings, and I'd say to him, I said, oh, we went to such a place last night, or we went to the film studios, and oh, I'll do all that after the fight. He said, I'm going to stay on after the fight and I'll visit a few places, and which he never did, never happened. But all the things we were doing in the evening, Johnny would be in bed by 7, 8 o'clock, and we'd be out hitting the town a bit. But he'd always ask me in the morning, and what did you do last night? And different things. Well, when me and Johnny would go for a run in the morning, the taxi driver would take us up to the park, and he said, if your boy wins, he said, get him out of town as quick as you can. He said it won't be safe for him to stay in town if he wins the fight.
Finally, the night had arrived.
There were a couple of rows of Welsh supporters surrounded by a lot of Mexicans who, frankly, were pretty obnoxious. It wasn't sporting banter, it was throwing what you could call cups of recycled beer from the balconies over the heads of the Welsh fans. It was generally a bit of a baying, bullring atmosphere, and not pleasant at all, but it didn't seem to affect Johnny when he got in the ring.
Despite that confidence, just hours before the fight, Johnny had written what turned out to be his last entry in his diary. It read, "Hope everything comes right on the night. If only. It's a big if."
He did exceptionally well through the early rounds. He was doing really well, and against some people's expectation.
He was doing well, you know, as Johnny always fought on the front foot, coming forward and putting pressure on him.
On the 9th, he was caught, floored for the first time in his career. Got up, looked okay, his eyes were clear, went back in, but his confidence was dented. And in the 12th round, he was floored again, rose again fairly quickly.
When Owen got up, he said, "I'm all right, sir. I want to go on." And honestly, those words give me the cold shivers.
He said he was all right, and he got up, and then he took the final blow then.
He went down like a marionette that had its strings cut. He just folded and crumpled to the floor.
Johnny Owens was brought to the emergency department at California Hospital on Friday night, September 19th, 1980, in critical condition. He was operated on for the removal of a blood clot on the brain and was in surgery between approximately 11:30 p.m. and 3 a.m. He was subsequently transferred to the intensive care unit, still in critical condition. There's no prognosis.
I'd like to thank all the people at Merthyr, and, well, not just Merthyr, everywhere, but the Merthyr Express for this card that they've given us. sent out to John.
Despite the family's vigil at the Los Angeles hospital, Johnny never regained consciousness, and 46 days later he died on the 4th of November 1980. He was just 24 years old.
Good evening. A population of 61,500 this afternoon stopped work, school and play to mourn the death and thank God for the life of Johnny Owen.
It was overwhelming, really, because obviously we I don't know if there's a word for it, devastated, it doesn't cover it, and you know, the fact that, you know, we were going to my brother's funeral, I think there isn't a word in English or Welsh to describe it. It was amazing that the number of people who were out, and it was just people everywhere. I mean, the church was packed, outside the church was packed, all the way from the church was the bottom of town in Merthyr, up to Pan Cemetery. It was lined with people all the way up, and on several miles, it was lined with people all the way up. The churchyard was just black with people. People were everywhere, and it started to come home to you then, just how loved John was.
It just broke my heart, yeah. So sad. So, yeah. But we all know what the risks are, and you never ever think it's going to happen to you or someone close to you as that, like, especially when you fought him and you know what he's put into the game. It was tragic, very, very tragic.
The response was huge. Donations to his fund went to the Prince Charles Hospital in Merthyr. Although Johnny's character was strong, it was later discovered that he had an unusually thin skull. Since then, skull checks have become compulsory, and ironically today, Johnny Owen would never have been allowed to box. Boxing can be brutal, but for some, it offers hope. At the unveiling of Johnny's statue in 2002, the man who dealt him the fatal blow was invited to Merthyr by the Owens family. It was a time for all to reflect on the remarkable life and boxing career of Johnny Owen. Johnny Owen occupies a unique place in Welsh sporting history. His strength, combined with that vulnerability, still touches the heart of a nation.
Boxing is an extremely tough sport. It's an unforgiving sport. But that is where Johnny expressed himself. There is no question in my mind that the ring was his kingdom.
Without boxing, Johnny would have been a shy factory worker for as long as the work lasted. Anonymous. Boxing made him famous. It made him someone special.
A lot of newspapers, and you see on the internet as well, there's the tragic Johnny Owen. There's nothing tragic about John. There's nothing tragic about him at all, so people, should put that to bed. John loved boxing. He loved life, and he was living life the way he wanted to live it. And, well, thousands of people loved him. And from the messages we got from all over the world when John died, it was obvious it wasn't just people in this country who loved him, it was people worldwide loved him, and not just boxing fans. So there's not a lot of us can go to our grave and say, that many people truly loved us, and that we actually achieved something in our lives, and that we actually enjoyed our life and we enjoyed everything we were doing.